When you go to the garden store and you're buying your plants, pay attention to what the plants look like. For example, you might find that you want a hosta for your shade garden. You sometimes can buy maybe a single stemmed hosta. This just has one crown. Or you can buy a hosta that has lots of shoots. Now, this hosta might cost $18. You can make as many as maybe 12 out of this plant. But one of the things that I like to do in gardening is plant in groups. So what I would do is divide this into 3. Now, as this foliage gets taller and taller and taller, there comes a point where you may have to shear it down when you're going to divide it. You can do the same thing in some cases with some of the ferns. You can maybe make 2 out of this. Now remember, you want to try to do this when the plants are just breaking dormancy. You really don't want them to be in full growth, but you can go ahead and propagate these. And I'm going to show you a couple ways that you can divide and make lots of these plants for your garden. If a saw really doesn't work for wood anymore, you can save it for dividing your plants. You also need a knife, and I like to use a really stiff knife when I'm dividing plants. This is a Japanese painted fern here, and when it's really well filled out, and so what I would do is come in here, and you can use a knife, or you just take your saw where it looks like a natural point to cut, and a saw works great. This is easy to use for really large containers, and here I've got 2 plants ready to put in the garden. And if it's raining outside and you can't plant them right away, put them right back in the pot, and then you're set to take this and plant it in the garden when the soil is workable. Hostas are easy to divide, and they do get massive as they get older. This is probably about 3 years old. It's got lots of shoots, as you see here. This could be divided into about 10 plants, but I'm just going to divide it into 3. I like to plant in groups of 3. And again, I'll take the saw and I'll come in here and just find a good place to cut. There are 2 plants. I'm going to come in then, which is easy to do with a knife, and just cut through the crown, and then by hand, just pull this plant apart, take them again, and put them right back in the pot. This is a $19 plant, so out of this plant alone, I've saved almost $40. When you're choosing plants that can be divided, you want to try to stay away from plants that are in full bloom. In many cases, it's too late to divide and propagate those that can be divided. So you want to work with plants like, this is Achillea, and this is another yarrow or Achillea that a lot of us have in a garden. Again, knock it out of the pot. It is semi-dormant, and you know, if you look real close, sometimes you can pull little plants off with small roots just like that and pot them up in containers, or you can just take your knife and cut this in thirds. So again, you have 3 plants ready to go in a garden, so when you plant them in a garden, you have nice groups of plants. Now this daily is not in bud yet. It still can be divided, and what you would do is, it's a $50 daily. This is Black Friar, beautiful deep burgundy purple. Take your knife, come right in here, right in between the 2 fans, and just cut. You'll hear it crack, and then what you can do is pull apart the 2 sections, just like this, and I have made $50 on this plant. And the last thing, when you're looking for plants and buying plants, if you're fortunate enough to find plants that have little plants coming out of the bottom of the pot, make sure they're not weeds. Each one of these, this is Aegiopodium, It's a great ground cover plant, and you can take these little shoots and each one will make a new plant. And as I've done here, you can fill your garden with lots of plants and save $50 or more when you buy these plants. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to the In the Garden website. That's inthegardenradio.com.